and roll, bro?
Bro, I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Jim. They ain't ready. Here we go.
I'm gonna go out here, guys.
What is it? You ain't Mexican. What is that?
Kind of looks you a little bit, though, so I dig a little deep in there, right? But, yeah, he's got that. He did that. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the episode of the Fiscal Report. We're live in full effect. It is that time of year. We are in the week of the NFL Scouting Combine. It's draft season, baby. And I can't wait to talk about with you guys and my trusty co-host, Cowboys Corner Mike. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, you guys? Man, it feels good to be back here on the Frisco Report talking ball with Joe. Shout out to you guys. You and Danny Savage had a great show the other night, or like a couple of weeks ago on Saturday Night Antics. So follow Joe for that. That was a great show. And then Joe held it down for me 2 weeks ago, giving you guys some free agents. So shout out to Joe for holding that down for me. I had a miss the show there, but I appreciate Joe holding the fork down. And then we took last week off, so it feels good to be back in full effect, Joe. So appreciate you holding it down. Great show with you and Danny Savage, the draft guru. So thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mike. Good to have you back, bro. Not only is it good, it's great, bro. And it's good to have you in the building, baby.
He's in the building. Feels good to be back in my righteous place.
Indeed it is, bro. Indeed it is. Man, we got a lot to talk about today, man. As you guys can tell, we are going to talk about sleepers for the NFL Combine. The on-field drills start Thursday. NFL Network and such. I may go live, bro. I may go live. I love it, bro. I love this time of year. But before we get started, Mike, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the cost of a kicker. All right. And we're talking about Brandon Aubrey. Cowboys offered him supposedly $7.5 million. And supposedly Todd France, his agent, is wanting $10 million, bro. So I think we have an issue here. Well, what's the vibe, Mike? What's your thoughts on this news here that came out a little bit ago?
So the 7.5, yeah, that's 1.1 million over the highest paid kicker right now. All right, let's make sure we have those facts straight there. Then, so that's right. So Dak Prescott, it was 55 million. They went 60. No quarterback has came close since. Ezekiel Elliott, he was 18. I think the running back market at the time was like 10. So like that was pretty dramatic, and that went to like bite him in the butt, right? So now, I mean, we're talking $2.5 million. That's a lot of money because that's kicker money, right? Well, you could literally give a decent playmaker, a free agent, that money, and he might have a bigger impact than Brandon Aubrey because Brandon Aubrey kicks field goals, right? So I say if they don't take the 7.5, put that second-round tender on them, let some goofy-ass general manager pay him $10 million and give me my second-round pick.
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mike. The first round tender pays about 8-point-something million, right? So they want above the first round tender, and the Cowboys are hovering a little below it. You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, I'm out on that, bro. So I don't think they're going to give him even the first round tenor. I think at this point here, you know, if he doesn't want to take that amount of money, you put that second round tender, you pay him that second round money because he is restricted, right? So I mean, he's got to sign that tender sheet. But man, if somebody calls wanting to pay him that money, let it be, bro. Give me that second round pick. I don't care who it is. If it's in the top of the draft at the bottom, I'll take a second rounder, bro. For a kicker, I can't stand. I mean, they're needed, right? Kickers are needed, but it's still a kicker. I'm of the old school thinking, dude, where you know kickers have their place in the game, but is this a kicker? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the difference, Joe. Like everybody's kicking 55-yard field goals these days. Brandon Aubrey kicking 65. I mean, how special is it? I mean, and then if you're really kicking 65-yard field goals and you're depending on your kicker, your offense ain't really good, right? So give me somebody that can kick 55 and closer for half the money. You can find that in today's league. It's super simple. You really can. So I'm okay with paying a kicker $2 to $3 million that can kick 55 and closer versus paying this guy 65, and there's really no guarantee he's going to make it. A lot of his kicks at the end of the year, right? You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trust him to do that. But kickers nowadays, what he's doing isn't really anything special.
Yeah, I mean it's more of an excitement factor, you know. Like, oh, I want to see this long ass kick, but like you said, man, and others have said this before. Like it's become like a crutch, right? Like, hey, I got this guy that can kick this long ass field goal. All we have to do is get it to the 50. I want that gone, bro. I want to remove that crutch and let's put the pressure on Schottenheimer, the play calling, your top paid wide receivers, your top paid quarterback. That's who needs to be winning these games, bro, and putting points on the board. I mean, last year in the beginning of the season, it was so pathetic, bro, that Aubrey was the leading scorer on the team. That's how crappy the offense kind of started kind of shitty, if we kind of remember that. It wasn't humming until a few weeks in, right? So, I mean, give me the second rounder, bro. I want one.
Oh, yeah.
and the Cowboys, they have a history of finding the kickers. Like that's one thing that they are good at, like finding kickers. So go to the UFL, let the season play out, get the best kicker from the UFL, and sign him for whatever amount, man, 2 or 3 million, whatever, minimum, whatever, man. I mean, 10 million for a kicker, bro. I mean, I don't. That's too much, bro.
Rich Bisaccia was Dan Bailey, Mike McCarthy. I mean, we had Nick Folk. Then we had David Bueller. I don't know if you remember him. We had Jeff Heath at one point in time kicking field goals in this mother lover. But no, so you had David Bueller. You had then you had Bailey for a long time under Rich Bisaccia. You know, then you had, you know, some other names. Then we found Aubrey with Bones Fossil, right? Nick Sorensen. Can I trust him to go find a new kicker? Does he have that MO to go do that and do that well? Because Bisaccia is a household special teams name. Bones Fossil, household special team name. Nick Sorensen, I don't trust him to do it. So now I got to rely on some scouts and maybe Will McClay, which that's iffy for me too. But paying $7.5 million for a kicker is ridiculous, in my opinion. But do we have the right deck of cards to play these cards to maybe have somebody else fall in our lap, Joe?
Yeah, that is a good point on that. And I don't know why they even kept Sorensen. They should have removed this dude. He wasn't any good. But will somebody pay a second rounder? I want to. They have to announce these tenders here pretty soon, right? So, I mean, we're days away from finding out. I mean, we already know they're going to franchise tag Pickens. This news with Aubrey, I think they gotta go back now and go back and see, hey, what's the plan out here? These dudes want $10 million.
I'm rescinding the offer, and I'm going to tell them good luck.
Yeah, I don't think they have officially assigned him the tender yet. So, I will give the second, and that's it, man. And hope somebody you can dangle it, because if you assign a first round tender, that kind of you don't have a lot of people that are gonna want to give a first for a kicker. You might find some dope out there that'll do it, but if it's a second rounder, that's way more attractive, right? So second round tender, make it more attractive to somebody, give us their pick, and let's go, baby. That's where I'm at on that, bro. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. Your boy Mike here with another super chat. Mike, here we go. Do you guys think we should trade for Minka Fitzpatrick? Both Wilson and Hooker have become liabilities, and Fitzpatrick could really help our safety room. What's your thought on that, Mike?
I don't want to trade any draft equity at this point this year. I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready to trade any draft capital for next year either, just because the Jets already get the lower of your first round picks. So I'm not in favor of trading for players unless it's smart and it makes sense. Minka Fitzpatrick isn't cheap. It ain't like a Logan Wilson where you can just throw a 7th rounder at it and then you cut him 2 months later. I think Minka Fitzpatrick is going to be expensive in draft equity. I don't think we have any players to make that make sense either. So I'm going to say don't give up any draft equity this year, what's left of this year, and next year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Like, honestly, it sounds interesting, and I have heard that he might be able to be had for a day 3 pick, but we're probably talking, a 4th, a 5th rounder at the very best. You know what I mean? But to get him for a 6th or 7th, that's not going to happen. They're probably wanting a 4th, maybe a conditional 4th that turns into a 3rd or something like that. I don't want to play that. You know what I mean? This is a deep safety class. You know what I mean? And you can get you one here in the 4th. I think there's going to be some guys that will be there. You know what I mean? And but safety is going to be a very important part of this Christian Parker defense. So they're going to have to prioritize a lot of this. Supposedly they were close to trading for Minka last year, before they got Pickens. So maybe that's why this name was kind of risen up again. We are at the combine. This is when all the news breaks. We've talked about that before. This is when all the tampering happens, right? What do they call it? Legal tampering or something like that, right? So I mean, it's gonna rear its ugly head. But yeah, bro, I'm with you. I'm not giving up equity right now, man. We need the picks, and he's not that young anymore anyway. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, I'm not too keen to it myself, but that's where we're at, bro. That's where we're at. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, Mike, and that is the sleepers to keep an eye out on this upcoming NFL scouting combine, Mike.
Yeah,
let's talk about. Do you have any favorites? Do you have any sleepers? Let's go through your list there, Mike, and then I'll give you mine.
Yeah, what my first sleeper, dude, is a safety because we're on that topic. All right, I'll use Bud Clark first. All right, the TCU safety is a sleeper. 6'2", 190, a little light for me, but he's ball hawk, right? So how does his numbers check out at the combine? We'll definitely see. Local kid, being right there from TCU. So that's one of my first sleepers in Bud Clark, Joe.
Yeah, out of TCU, that's a good one there. Local kid, obviously, like you said, and somebody that will probably, I mean, we'll see how he does in the combine, but Well, he should be there with our 4th rounder, 5th rounder pick. You know what I mean? I kind of have him there myself. I have him as a day 3 safety right now. You know, not to say that he jumps out of the combine like Byron Jones did. I mean, you never know. He let's see what he does, but that's a good one there, Mike. I like that.
My second one, I'm sticking with defense. I'm sticking with the state of Texas. I'm going to Lee. One of my sleepers is Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. A 5th to 6th round guy, massive run stopper. All right, he's sitting at 6'4", 330. Joe, that's another one of my sleepers. A big defensive tackle.
Yeah, Lee Hunter, man, he was at the combine. Cowboys met with him. They pretty much met with everybody, right? So we'll see what if he gets a formal interview, right? The formal interviews will be the paper trail that goes and kind of dovetails into the 30 visits, where really the ones that count the most. But the formal visits are important because these are guys that if they're not on the 30 list, these are guys that could be, you know, drafted in later rounds. You know what I mean? These guys that could be drafted as undrafted free agents. There's a lot that goes into it, but those are the ones that count. You know what I mean? Formal and the 30 visits carry the most weight. So let's see where they're at with him. Like you said, local product. And I'm with you. I think you got to keep adding defensive tackles into this room. I'm all about it, bro. I'm all about adding DTs here, bro.
Another sleeper that I have, Joe, going all the way to Cincinnati, an outside linebacker, Jake Golday. All right. 6'4", 235, athletic cover linebacker on the outside. And he can play Mike as well. So you have in this 3-4 system, can he rush the passer? Where can you put him at to blitz? He can cover tight ends. That's what you want in your middle linebackers anyway, covering tight ends, attacking, point of attack. Another sleeper is Jake Golday out of Cincinnati for me.
Yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name, bro. That Cincinnati defense, you mentioned it, Cignetti, solid defense. Has been putting out good defenders into the league here in recent years. The thing about him is we'll see what he comes in as far as measurables and how he looks medically. So I was trying to go through my notes real quick. I thought I had a medical mark on him. I think I did, and I think that's one thing that we'll probably get something on him. But yeah, dude, that's a good one there. Linebackers, I love it, bro. I mean, we need them, right? Because we lost Logan Wilson, like you said, and so we're short one now. I think you have to have a little bit of a churn here. You know what I mean? You have to give Christian Parker and his guys their people now. You know what I mean? So there's no sponsors in the room here. These guys have to all earn it, right? Kenneth Murray, he's a free agent or whatever it is, so we're not even counting him. But you have Maris Leofau, you have you got Shamar James. He was all right. Maybe try to salvage that dude. And then Overstrom, the lateral movement, the knee injuries, he's not the same player. You have to give that room some love, Mike. So yes, that's a name to look at, Mike. I like that one there, Mike.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna give you a tight end here that I like it for a sleeper, Joe. His run blocking might not be as good, but he is a big target. He stands at 6'4", 235. Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. He's another local kid from Denton, Texas. He's one of my sleepers to watch during this process as well.
Yes, another good name, Mike. There. So Eli Stowers, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt had a good season. He was the Jason Witten to Pavia, right? So getting that ball out on a regular basis, pretty good athletic player there for Vanderbilt. Cowboys, it's no secret. We've talked about it here, Mike. that tight end room, it kind of sucks. You have Ferguson, and after that, second round bust. Brandon Spanford, who they've been waiting several seasons now to develop. He's the new Rico Gathers. And that's it. That's it. You know what I mean? So either they add a vet who's good in free agency and jettison these one or two of these dudes, or go to the draft and get you one on day 3 probably and throw one into the mix, or even an undrafted free agent, right? I think you need to get that going because the offense still needs to have some reshaping, some reloading, as they say, Mike. You know what I mean? I'm not happy with the tight end room, bro.
No, you can't be. Schoonmaker on a contract here as well. So, another one to look at is John Michael Gillenborg out of Wyoming, 6'5", 245. If you're looking for a real developmental tight end, something like that later on down the line, that could happen. But I'm going back to defense, Joe, with Davison Igbinosun. He's the quarterback out of Ohio State, 6'2", 193. He's projected to go second and third round. If the Cowboys want him, then they can jump up. But that's another sleeper of mine that I think will fit well in a Christian Parker 3-4 scheme.
Where do you like him at? Because he was a Senior Bowl guy as well. Where do you like him at? Do you like him on the outside or?
I like him on the outside. I like him outside.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a second. Nickel cornerback, right?
Mm-hmm.
A very key spot here for Christian Parker, the nickel and the safety, right? So, do we have that guy right now?
I think you do, and Deron Bland. That's why I like this guy. Mbildokson at the outside. Bland plays the inside. You could tweak some other stuff with some other corners that we got to help on the outside as well. With oh God, who's our other corner? What the heck's his name? My mind just went blank. Hold on.
Yeah, so then that is the issue. I mean, as we talk about that, and that's why we're seeing cornerback being talked about so high in the first round. You know what I mean? I think you have to protect yourself because is Bland even going to be
Carson.
ready?
That's who it is.
Kalen Carson.
Yes.
He's another one of these dudes that you kind of been waiting to develop. Injury prone guy as well, man. So it's like, can we get away from the DBs with injury bugs, bro? Give me a durable dude, man. So yeah, Kalen Carson, no sponsor in the room for him either. He was a former 5th round pick. And
third year though. He's going into his third year. Can he develop into his third year? That's what I'm betting on, right? So you give me Davison, you give me Carson, Bland playing the inside nickel. You might be able to do something, and it all depends on your front seven. If your front seven can be all goes, them corners can roast marshmallows.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. He might be able to elevate him, man. I mean, because whenever our boy went to Chicago, whenever, they made this change over here to Eberflus, these cornerbacks, they took a step back. You know what I mean? They all flourished under what was his name? Mike, our DB coach. No, he went to the Bears.
Oh, Al Harris.
Al Harris, right? So once he left, these guys all took a step back. So I think Christian Parker, he's definitely, I would say, above an Al Harris because he's got the rings, right? He has the mentality of it all, right? Like how to do it, right? Like very meticulous. You saw it in his press conference. Christian Parker, very meticulous, and how to get these players going. He kind of reminds me of like a Jimmy Johnson type of dude where he's looking at how to get the most out of these guys, like psychologically. You know what I mean? And it's been said that he has a photographic memory. So
Yes.
something that you'll like here, he'll be able to really go back and have examples and things like this and of players that remind him of what you need to succeed. So yeah, that's good right there, Mike.
And you got Siobhan Rebel there as well that can benefit from Christian Parker as well.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna need that. Yes, sir.
So yeah, if you can figure out how to way to get Davison from Ohio State, you have ways to tweak that defense and put your best three corners on the field. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what they do.
Yes, sir. That's what it is, bro. Got any more, Mike?
I got a center here, but he's on the lighter side for an O lineman. But I think you can stash and develop, like if you lose like a Brock Hoffman somewhere down the line, or if you lose a TJ Bass, James Brockermeyer, the center out of Miami, is a sleeper for me. I think if you could stash and develop him, pack some weight on, I think he's like 293. If you can stash him, put some weight on, I think he has the skill set for a pro level. I mean, you turn on the tape, you watch it, it's there. It's just he's just light.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of potential.
Well, the thing about it too is that he comes from a good program. You know, Miami here, especially right now, they have linemen coming into the league, D line and O line. Like they made it to the championship game. You know what I mean? So there's something to be said about that. He gave the snacks to Carson Beck. You know, they were a successful combination there. You know what I mean? Your quarterback has to have a stable, trusty center to feel comfortable in that pocket. The center is very important to give you that front protection so the pocket doesn't collapse. And Carson Beck and the Hurricanes wouldn't have got that far if your center wasn't good. So I like that sleeper there, bro. That's a good name to keep an eye on. And the other thing about it too is, like I said, we are going to need depth there. You know, we may lose Bass and Hoffman and these dudes. So you know they'll have to keep it going and see if Riley can kind of find his feet here more in year two, which I think he will, and keep this thing going.
Now I'm going to give you one more name here, Joe, and Jerry could do this, and you would only make this move if your running backs. Obviously, you just signed Javonte, but like Phil Maffa, the shoulder, you don't trust it. Jadon Blue, you still don't trust him and his maturity and learning things. I mean, give me Mike Washington Jr., the running back out of Arkansas. I mean, he had 26 touchdowns in his in his 5 years at being a Razorback. So I feel like you get Mike Washington Jr. here, team him up with Javonte. You got some bruiser backs that can lay the hammer and close out the games for Dak.
It's a good point. You know, how confident are you in the year two rookies? You know what I mean? How do you feel about Maffa? How do you feel about Jadon Blue? Do you trust Jadon Blue? Is he going to show up out of shape? You know what I mean? What I'm interested in that, bro, because that was a big thing for him was, you know, being mature and taking this thing serious. You know what I'm saying? So until I see it, I don't buy it. Right now, we have one running back on the team, Javonte Williams. Malik Davis kind of showed you something here, but he's kind of been like a on and off the
journeyman.
roster. Yeah, journeyman within the team itself, pretty much. So, yeah, dude, give me some stability once and for all. And, yeah, they could come out of this with the running back. You never know. That fourth rounder used to be the hot spot there for the Cowboys with, you know, DeMarco Murray and Marion Barber. You know, they
bro.
They got these guys, you know, a little bit later, right? So,
right.
I want to see if they do come out of this with another running back. You know what I mean? So maybe that happens if they do this little move down kind of thing and pick up an additional pick or something like this. But I definitely wouldn't close the door on running back. You know, I mean, you never know. It could happen.
Let me ask you this, Joe. How do you feel with Schottenheimer getting a good look at Milton? How would you feel letting go of Milton and bringing a guy? Maybe you can get him undrafted free agent. Maybe you can get him in the 7th round. A Jalen Daniels out of Kansas. I mean, he is shorter. What type of development do you see, if any, with Jalen Daniels, the quarterback out of Kansas?
I mean, the way I see it, we've seen what we're gonna get out of Joe Milton. You know, he already hit his ceiling, and he throws a deep ball here and there. He's gonna make some splash plays in camp, right? And people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is why we traded for him." But then when he comes in here and gets on the field, dude, he plays like crap, bro. Like, I mean, just crazy turnover machine, bro. Like, I'm moving on, man. I am. You know, give me this guy you're telling me about. There's a lot of quarterbacks that I would throw a dart at. You know what I mean?
Ty Simpson as from Alabama as well.
Ty Simpson, you know, he'll probably go a little early though. But you know, you start talking about like Garrett Nussmeier, you start talking about like Klubnik, Altmaier, Aller. I think any of these dudes would be better than Joe Milton. And I'm being 100% honest, man. Joe Milton can't play, bro. We've seen it. We have seen it, and they messed up, but it's fine. They swung, they missed. I'm fine with that. They need to keep at it though. Don't stop. Don't be like, oh shit, we messed up. I'm not gonna do it again. Keep going till you find somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I'm with take another one. Late round, undrafted. Bring me some more guys in here, man.
I think you have to. I think Wilkwear already showed you he can't develop into that solid number 2. So you give that spot to a guy that's deserving, like a Jalen Daniels or something, and then go get you a solid number 2, whether that's you're drafting him or a solid undrafted free agent. Like, and you're not going to find a Tony Romo. But, find somebody that can come in there and really and give some competition there. Like, hey, our future looks good here. But we know they're not going to draft a quarterback high. But at least if Schottenheimer is an offensive-minded coach, let's see how he can develop a quarterback.
Yeah. They need to give him a guy to see if he can develop him. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been around a lot of good quarterbacks, so he has to be able to already recognize what is a good NFL caliber quarterback by this point. I mean, he has to. If not, then we have a problem.
No,
that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Mike, I'm gonna give you my my list here of sleepers now. Do you have any more, Mike? Or
nope.
Nope. Okay. Just want to make sure there that we're good to rock and roll. So let me bring up my list here, and we'll get this going, bro. We're gonna give you this one here, the scouting combine du jour. All right. Let me see if I can bring this up as a slideshow. Okay, there we go. That's better. NFL Scouting Combine Sleeper, bro. Here we go.
All professional on the Fresco Report.
My first player, Mike, that you're going to want to watch here at the Scouting Combine, Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State. You turn the film on. This guy is not being talked about enough. Captain. And he can do it all. Coverage, he plays good in press man, zone. We've heard Christian Parker say if you're good, you can play in any kind of package. Chris Johnson can play in both of those, and he's done it well. Forced fumbles, interceptions. Just one of the top guys who's not being talked about enough. That's why I have him on my sleeper list. He's got the size. He's over 6 foot. We'll see what the official measurables come in here at the combine, but keep an eye out on Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State, Mike.
100%. This guy is a solid tackler. He is a great outside zone corner. That could fit a Christian Parker scheme. Late first, I have him. Early second, I have him somewhere around there. He can really elevate himself here in this combine. With putting on a clinic, which he's very capable of doing. His 40. You can see him somewhere maybe in the 4.5s. That could hurt him a little bit, but I do like Chris Johnson.
Yeah, let's see where he ends up. I think he's going to climb up some boards here after this one. Next on my list here, Mike, defensive end Joseph Josephs, edge rusher out of Tennessee. Graded very well as far as like one of your top edge defenders in the division. Not one of the household names, but if you want a solid tackler who plays the run well and can get after the quarterback, a little bit more of a developmental kind of guy, I have him anywhere from like the 3rd to the 5th round. And if he's there, he'll fit into the system. A hybrid, if you want to put him on the edge, which I really like him. If you can put him as an outside linebacker, he fits that. He's got the stature, and he's got the chase. You know what I mean? Like he can run you down, go through the trash, and really get the player on the run. So I like him very, very much, man. He's a solid edge rusher out of Tennessee. Not enough people talking about him. He's on my sleeper list, Mike.
82-inch wingspan, Joe. I think you have to play him at the edge with being 240. I think he'd get 8 up in the middle. Got to leave that to the big boys. But if you're looking at a base 3-4 defense as an edge, this is your prototypical guy on the edge. This is like your Marshawn Nealon guy right here. Out of Tennessee, I think this guy can flourish under Christian Parker. Just keep him away from the middle. Again, might just be another first-round talent, maybe a second-round guy, just depending on how the league views his size. But 3-4 guy right here all day long.
Yeah, definitely would fit this new style of defense. Sleeper to watch. Joseph Josephs out of Tennessee. Let's see what he does at the combine, baby. Draft, baby, draft. All right. So the next one, Red Murdoch, another linebacker, and you touched on this on your list too, Mike. Like linebackers are needed here. You know what I mean? And not only like we're not thinking traditional 4-3 kind of linebackers. We're looking at linebackers that can seek and strike, who can play on the edge. You know what I mean? Red Murdoch to me is one of these guys that can play all the positions at linebacker. He's another sleeper for me. You can have him on the outside. He's not the tallest, however. He's going. I want to see what he measures in at as far as the measurables. You know what I mean? He's maybe around 6'1", so maybe he's more of one of these guys that's a package player for you. You know what I mean? Parker's going to have different packages, that will require different types of players. Red Murdoch would be one of these situational type of linebackers for me, based on his height. But the guy is very productive, plays the run well as well.
Yeah, I have him like a prototypical box linebacker. I don't see him hitting side to side. I don't think he has side to sideline speed, in my opinion. I think you have to play him close to the line of scrimmage for him to exceed. But no, I mean, I can't wait to see what he does here and how he translates. But for me, just a regular box linebacker, keep him near the line of scrimmage.
Indeed it is. Next player on the sleeper list, Mike. I love this one here. Jyshawn Barnum, linebacker out of Michigan. All right. So one thing I do like about Michigan, they do have a pretty good hit rate as far as linebackers go. So they may have him listed as an edge. Like to me, he's an outside linebacker. Yeah, and another one that would fit well in this. And he's crazy, bro. Like literally, this guy plays with his hair on fire. You know what I mean? And I want to see what he does here in the combine. You know what I mean? I hope he does all the drills. I'm interested to see the agility. He will be a name that will pop up on people's lists here. You're not hearing about him enough, but a very athletic player. He does have a little bit of Sam Williams in him. You know, I'm being quite a little bit honest. You know, he has some crazy dumb penalties. He once headbutted an official. All right. So he's crazy, bro. But he's got a nasty mean streak, and I think we need a little bit of that edge, bro. Like a little bit of that craziness, little Charles Haley-esque type of player, but that can play good. Sam Williams had that, but he didn't play good. Barham, he plays really good, bro. Like he'll back up his play with his craziness. So I like him. I think he would bring some nastiness to your defense. Some really he's a vicious tackler. You know, he's always around the ball. I like him. Keep an eye on him for as far as one of my sleepers in this combine.
From what I don't have a lot of notes on him, but what I do have is that he is a good tackler. His recognition of a play is spectacular. And I have him as an outside guy with the 4th round grade on him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's about right there, Jason Barham. Let's see what he does in the combine. My next player, Chase Roberts, looking at wide receiver, bro. Yes. Taller wide receiver, 6'3", about 215 or so. Kind of will remind you a little bit of a like a Alec Pierce, you know what I mean? Alec Pierce type of, maybe more like a Jordy Nelson type. You know what I mean? Not the fastest wide receiver, but really good hands. And that's what Jordy Nelson was, if you remember him out of Green Bay. Not saying that he's going to be Jordy Nelson, but if you're looking at a guy who may not burn it up on the 40-yard dash, his hands are crazy good. I want to see how he looks in the gauntlet. You know, when they catch the ball and they're going back and forth down the line, that is going to be nice to see him run that. And some of these routes from the quarterbacks, the deep ball especially, he's really good at high pointing the ball. Plays really good in the zone. He knows how to tear it up, man. So he's got good size. Cowboys haven't had a receiver like this in a while, like a Michael Gallup type of player with this size. He's really good at tiptoeing on the sideline. Out of BYU, Chase Roberts, bros.
I like him because he can play outside. He can play slot. He's not scared to play up the middle.
Right.
And he showcased that. I think he had 6 touchdowns, 802 yards there at BYU. He's a Dak friendly type of guy who could play everywhere. And I think you need that. If you got George Pickens here, you got Ryan Flournoy, you got CeeDee Lamb, this guy's a whole nother element to a 4 wide. And you have Jake Ferguson in there somewhere on a 5 wide out. It's going to be dangerous.
Yeah. I want to see how he looks in these drills and where he ultimately gets drafted. But a sleeper in my book, keep an eye on him, Chase Roberts. Take a look at my next player here. This is probably one of my favorite sleepers, bro. All right. Keyshawn Elliott, man. A few drafts ago, I had scouted a player, McDuffie. And I think ultimately he got drafted by the Packers, a linebacker. And this is my equivalent to this season's McDuffie. Keyshawn Elliott out of Arizona State. This guy's a tackling machine. You have to go turn the film on this guy, man. I love the way this guy plays linebacker. And for him not getting enough of the discussion is kind of, kind of weird, but you know how that's just how the way the draft goes, especially before the combine. Before the combine, mostly people are talking about your first rounders, maybe some second rounders. Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker out of Arizona State, tackling machine, man. Just he can recognize the play in the backfield, get through the trash, and make that tackle in the backfield. He'll chase you down. He's got good speed. Really fast player. So he's one of my top sleepers in this entire draft. Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker, Arizona State, Mike.
I'm gonna have to do more research on the kid. I don't know him, Joe.
Yes. No, go check him out, Mike. And everybody watching now and on the replay, go check out Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker, Arizona State. You will love what you see. Yeah, I mean, you'll play him. I mean, you'll watch him, and you'll see a little bit of something in him. Like you'll see a little bit of the recognition that Sean Lee did. You'll see some Luke Kuechly in him. You'll see some, just some of the guys that make the best linebackers, the guys that are able to get through past, your guards and into the backfield and just make that behind the line of scrimmage tackle. Those are special linebackers, man. Those guys that are right there, shutting down the play, shutting down the screen, shutting down the toss play. He to me, he's this. You know what I mean? So I like him a lot.
I can't wait to look him up. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is. And he is one of my top sleepers in this draft, bro. And that's it for my sleepers, Mike. Those are my guys. And I think we both gave a really good list here for you guys as far as like sleepers to really watch here in the combines. The on-field drills start Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? And I think on the last day it's O linemen. So I don't know that we'll be in the business for O line, but maybe we will. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Cowboys have done some things before that have surprised us before. You got to watch all the drills. You never know. Cowboys might do a Travis Frederick on you. You know what I mean? And pick up somebody on a trade down and pick up an O lineman, maybe a tackle or something like this.
Yeah, so, you never know what the Cowboys are going to do. I'm terrified for them with having 2 picks this year. They're going to screw them both up. I don't trust them.
That's what they don't, man.
I don't trust them, Joe.
It is hard to trust them, bro, because especially under McClay's tutelage, it's been getting worse and worse and worse. They have to really turn that around this year, bro. It can't be 4 drafts in a row that are pretty stank, So, guys in the chat box, we do appreciate you. Do we have any questions or comments? Let's check out what we got here in the chat box here real quick, Mike. Let's see. Oh, we got another super chat here from your boy, Mike. Biggest need on defense to draft for me, it's linebacker. What about you, Mike? What's your biggest defensive need?
Oh, I got to get some 3-4 ends in here. Outside of Azaraku, I don't know who else we got to play that position. Sam Williams, he can kick rocks. They don't know if Clowney can fit in this 3-4 system, but I'm looking at ends for days.
Yeah. I think that they're going to do what they do. They'll go get themselves an entry level or a former wash up for defensive end, and then they'll probably draft one somewhere. You know what I mean? But who will it be? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm with you though, man. I think that if I'm looking at if we needed to play a game right now, I think it would be edge as well. I think you gotta add one. It might be with one of those first round picks. But the scary thing is, if they use that 20 on an edge rusher, those guys usually bust. They're usually not that good, man. It would remind me of when we took Taco. And I mentioned this in one of my videos. The year that we took Taco, we weren't the only team that missed, right? So we missed on Watt, but so did everybody else. But there was other ends, if you remember, that were in the mix, right? And those guys were bust too, like they weren't good. So you start looking at ends at the end of the first round. Nah, I don't know, man. You're playing with fire there, so kind of scary.
Yeah, no, it is. But Aguilar, his comments getting my attention about the Utah linebacker Lander Barton.
Mm-hmm.
The dude don't have a neck. He's solid flipping muscle, dude, and I like his size. He's 6'5", 236, Joe. Dude was born to play football. 55 tackles there for Utah. He will play inside. And for a big guy, he can run like a 4.5 in the middle. So that he's about a 6th to 7th round guy in my opinion. But no neck Barton is a sleeper. So that is a good one.
I like him. I had him in one of my early mock drafts. He can play tight end as well. He played offensive snaps for them. So has really good hands, can run routes. So he's one of these guys that, like you said, man, he loves football. A good solid linebacker, definitely has the size. You know what I mean? So we'll see where he ultimately gets drafted. But if we took him, it'll be interesting to see how they use him. You know what I mean? So I like him though. I wouldn't mind having him on the team. I like him.
Yes, that's a good one. That is a good one. Oh yeah, I like Jacob Rodriguez too.
Jacob Rodriguez would be good. No, I give him my love, but who's not going to love him? Will McBust. Okay, I don't think that Jacob's going to measure in over 6 feet. You know what I mean? If he gets to 6 feet, we'll be lucky. He might come in at 5'11". He to me is like a Zach Thomas. You know what I mean? Like a 5'10", 5'11". We'll see what he actually measures in at the combine. But he's a throwback, bro. Like I would take him, but Will McClay, he won't have him on the board. Same thing that we have for Caleb Downs. If Caleb Downs comes in under 6 foot, he's off the list. Even if he's on the board there at number 12 and we're on the clock, they're not going to take him, bro. And a lot of fans are going to be like, what the hell? We didn't draft the guy who was right there. It's McClay is so strict with these measurables, and he's done it before. There's been players there that are good players that McClay just won't draft them, bro.
Yeah. No, they're stubborn. I just hope Christian Parker learned from Fangio and Vance Joseph on how to look for defensive talent. I mean, you look at their guys, they know how to do it, and they know how to do it at all levels in the draft. So I'm hoping that he picks some of that stuff up and can be a big voice, because the Cowboys will allow coordinators to fight for players. We've seen it time and time again. So I hope Christian Parker has an eye for talent, because if he does, it can really help him.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping, man. Maybe they change the way. I mean, it seems like they're kind of changing a little bit of things, but the truth will be in the pudding. When it comes to, let's see who the 30 visits are. You know what I mean? Let's see who the formal visits are. So that'll be interesting to see if they're looking at smaller players. You know what I mean? That don't quite have the arm length, that don't quite have the height, but they're good football players. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, give me a good football player. I really don't care about a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Brando, the gaming championship. How about get rid of Terrence Steele and go get Jennings Dunker, offensive tackle from Iowa? Yeah, I love him, dude. I had him in one of my mock drafts. People went crazy, bro. They didn't like it, but I said I don't care. I like him, dude. Depending on where. I mean, some teams might put him at guard, some may put him at tackle. You know what I mean? I won't get fixated on what certain people are saying. Some people are like, "Oh, he's a guard. He can play tackle." That's what he played. You know what I mean? So until he proves that he cannot play tackle, I'm keeping him there. and he's a mauler, bro. Like this guy is not gonna miss time. He's durable and an upgrade. So I like him a lot, Brando. I'm a huge fan of Jennings Dunker.
Oh yeah, he's a right tackle for me any day of the week.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good one, man. He might jump up these boards and go mid first. Let's see how he looks here in the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny Styles, yeah. So the reports are that he may go very early. There was a report here just a few hours ago that the Jets were looking at Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. So Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, both of them, we might not even have the option to take either of them because they're starting to really go up high on these boards. So the Jets are going to have a lot to say with this. Look at this, bro. I'm not paying that for Aubrey. Todd France has too much money. I agree, bro. Like that. I mean, it's crazy, bro. 10 million. These guys are trying to like bully the Cowboys now. You know what I mean? These agents are trying to pull the Mullen-Getta card. Like, hey, let's do this. But maybe they're going to force a trade now out of it. You know what I mean? Is that the game plan?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, dude. And Jerry does this, dude. Like he caused this for himself. Like he made it hard to deal with agents. Now agents are making it hard to deal with him. And if they would just sit down like normal people and say, we don't want you here on this team, we're looking to trade you, Micah, things would have been better. If franchise tagging Dak for all these times and then paying him again higher, and no agent has even got close to that money, right?
Yeah.
Jerry did this to himself because he thinks he's the smartest man in the room. And he's not, and they proved it time and time again. And now that he's older, these agents are really going to take advantage of him. And Steven doesn't know any different either.
Yeah, Steven doesn't either. I mean, it's been 30 seasons of trial and error. They haven't figured out since Jimmy left. Like, after Jimmy walked out the door, these guys were like, oh, we'll just figure it out ourselves. And they've been trying different iterations. All have been fails. And now you're seeing it now again with, we're gonna break the budget or bust the budget, or we're gonna go all in. It's every season it's a gimmick because they don't know what they're doing.
Dude, and there was, Trayvon Diggs don't have any more guarantees. That's why they cut him. He's still counting for $5 million of dead money because they don't know how to structure contracts correctly. So yeah. Trayvon Diggs is making $5 million
playing Xbox.
Yeah, playing Xbox. It's crazy to me, dude. Crazy.
$18 million cap hit. Yeah, I've seen that before too. I just I just can't put a guy out there for the sake of the money. Like, if anything, give me what's the other guy we had there, bro? Who took a little bit of those right tackle snaps?
Nate Thomas.
Yeah, if anything, give me Nate Thomas.
Oh, I don't know if Terrence still has an $18 million cap hit. Where'd y'all see that at?
I'm just reading out this comment here from Danny Graham.
Let me clear the air here.
Let's clarify, bro. Right. Check it out. Yeah,
I'm almost there.
Very good, very good. Your boy Mike, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chats, man. Thank you for everybody.
No, he'll have a $9 million cap hit, $8 million savings if you cut him pre-June 1. So if you cut him now, if you designate him as a post-June 1 cut, it's a $4 million dead money hit and a $14 million cap savings. So yeah, there's nothing that says he's accounting for $18 million if you cut him.
Okay, very good there. So that is still a possibility. So maybe they'll wait till after the draft. Sometimes that's what happens here, right? So they get their guy and then they get rid of somebody. So, or maybe they're able to move him. Maybe Mike McCarthy says, hey, I'm familiar with this guy. He was my guy. I want him here to protect whoever the hell they're going to go with, Will Howard or Aaron Rodgers. So maybe there's a little bit of that. Hey, I'll give you a 6th or 7th for him. Fuck it, give me the pick, man. He's not gonna do it here,
Right.
So could happen, man. You never know. Oh, Mike McCarthy back in the league, baby. Pittsburgh.
Oof. Man, Mike McCarthy took a year off and he didn't look too good at that press conference. I hope he takes care of himself a little better than what he did in that year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good season, man. A lot of churn this offseason. I felt like almost half the league was looking for head coaches and coordinators. So it's gonna make for an interesting season. Lots of churning. Cowboys, I think, are in good shape here with our coordinator in the division. I'm not scared of Washington. They don't have a quarterback who can stay healthy. Philly, they lost some coaches. They're going to lose some players. They won't be the same. Giants, I think, will be the team to be in competition with old Harbaugh, bro. I think he'll have them improved.
I said this point on Fifth Quarter Cowboys channel Friday night. I said the only thing that can really hurt Jackson Dart is if Harbaugh takes away the skill set of him running, because Jackson Dart doesn't know how to slide. He likes to take the hits head on. And if Harbaugh does that to Dart, what does that do to his gameplay? Because he has to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're taking an element that makes Jackson Dart.
Yeah, no, he'll probably work on that. I don't think he'll take that away from him because that gives him that element, you know what I mean, to scramble and move around, kind of like a Tony Romo. I liked Dart coming out, bro. Like, he reminded me, he had Romo-esque type of vibe to him where he could roll out, shoot it down the field, and hit somebody down the field. Like, I think it's gonna be good. I like this comment here, Mike. Sonny Styles, Akeem Mesidor, but the part of this that I really like is a Jaquan Brisker. All right, Jaquan Brisker. This would be a bust the budget type of move. Don't know if they're going to officially franchise tag him yet or not. I would think that they might, because he's a huge part of that Bears defense. But if he were available, and if the Cowboys want to bust that budget, man, Jaquan Brisker would be one hell of a nab for us, bro. That would be phenomenal. You know what I mean? I really would like that.
He's expected to hit free agency, so it will be interesting to see, what that market looks like for him. Obviously, it's going to be a good market, but it looks like he wants to leave Chicago. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Is it in fact the highest bidder, or does he want to go to someone where it's semi-highest bidder, but a team that can compete? You know what I mean? So we'll see there. Mike, I think that's it for tonight, man. We had a hell of a show here. Our sleepers are in the bag here. We'll follow up after the combine and see if any of these guys did in fact show up, or were there some other guys that really showed up out of nowhere. And we'll have that all covered here after the combine, and keep it here for all of the news. We'll have a lot of the who did we meet with as well. Keep the tabs on that for you guys, and we'll discuss all of that in the next couple of episodes. Mike, hell of a show. Pound that like button, everybody, if you haven't already. Mike, where can everybody find you if they haven't already, bro?
Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. _ Cowboys Corner on Twitter. That's where you can find me, guys. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. But content will be getting pushed out here soon. I'm working on finding a movie editor so I can start making better content, and it gives me something to do what I like. So expect more content getting pushed this offseason.
Very good, bro. Very good. I appreciate you, Mike. Good to have you back on the show after a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back at it, bro. I love it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Love you guys. We'll see you for the next episode.